Yeah, just one quick announcement. Prophet Brown got an injury here, going to miss certainly the first part of the season. We'll see how it plays out. Certainly hopeful to get him back here at some point, and think that's very much a real possibility. But we'll see how that progresses. So kind of a non-contact, kind of a unique situation. Hate it for him because he's been playing really well. Obviously, he's had one of the more rapid ascents here in terms of just all the years that he's been here and just watching him improve as a player and become a big part of this team. So hate that we won't have him the first few games, but excited to see our guys step up, and we'll look forward to his rehab and getting him back here as soon as possible.
You expect him to be able to play still?
We do, yes.
Are there any other injury updates that we should be aware of? Guys that maybe weren't here today?
Nothing huge, and just a couple of kind of normal camp things, but not anything right now where we would expect people to miss time.
How's Jacoby?
Yeah, got the same. He's been able to do individuals. He's going to start ramping up here in the next couple of days, be able to do a little bit more, but totally fine. Just a little bit of recovery that we got to get him back to a certain point before we can turn him loose in team drills.
And Eric Gentry, normal camp thing?
Same thing, yeah.
Pads today, who's standing out today?
That was a good physical day. It was our first opportunity to go truly live, so we got a chance to get some short yardage and goal line work. So it was pretty physical. There was a lot of back and forth, some really physical plays at the line of scrimmage. I know a couple guys that stood out. Desmond Stevens, Kennedy Urlacher, made some really impressive plays on the goal line. DJ Jordan had a couple of nice plays down there. Eli Sanders did some really nice things today in pads. So, it's good to get live, especially with some of these guys that we haven't seen live yet. Just be able to watch them tackle, to be able to watch some of these guys run in the open field and try to get a feel for who's going to be the most difficult to truly bring down. So you can't do these every single day with NCAA rules and just the way the game has evolved, so it makes these days that much more important.
Knowing that you're going to be without Prophet for a little while, how do you feel about the depth in that room, what you've seen?
We feel good. The guys have done a nice job. We've got a nice rotation going on in there. Obviously, we've added some new pieces and some guys that bring some position flexibility to that. And so, as always for us, it's going to be about trying to find, the best group of guys that we can put on the field, depending on what packages that we're in. But trying to find those best 5 DBs. And fortunately here, in the second year of Coach Lynn's system, having a few guys that have returned and played a decent amount of ball, that position flex does exist in that room. So we'll right now we're not moving a bunch of guys around too much. We're trying to kind of figure out, all right, who are the guys that we're really going to play with and count on, and then we'll start figuring out lineups and rotations and all that as we get closer to game one.
Any of those younger guys in the cornerback room who've impressed you, who you think might be able to?
Yeah, I would point out, Braylon Conley has really had a strong camp. I've been impressed with kind of his growth, and we saw flashes of that in spring, so this was something we were hoping to see, but he's had a strong camp. Marcellus certainly continues to improve, like some of the things that he's doing. Obviously we'll be excited to continue to see more of some of the newcomers, Chasen and all those guys. Obviously adding, having some of the experience with DJ Harvey and DeCarlos and all those guys is obviously a huge plus as well.
8 days in, what's your assessment of the offensive line right now?
I like where we're at. I like the group. A lot. Some young guys that have really come on fast. Give credit to Coach Hansen on just kind of the development of some of these guys, because we got some guys really rapidly improving, which makes you feel better about competition and depth. Hayden Treater, I'd say, has been one of the, I don't want to use the word surprises, but I'd say one of the highlights of camp. He's really practiced at a high level, finally healthy. Benuelos, same thing, getting better and better. Aaron Dunn has done some really nice things. So some of that young depth starting to come along we needed that to happen. I would say that the older guys, those guys are playing well. A lot of different lineups that we could use. And then obviously we'll kind of see what happens with the Wingfield situation. But I feel good. I honestly feel better about it than I did from a depth perspective than I did leaving spring, because I see some of these young guys, Makai Sena, I see some of these young guys starting to make a move right now.
It would also help you with the depth at tackle. As Elijah Bacona maybe surpassed some of your expectations.
He's done a good job. He did. He did some really good things in spring. We were able to rep him a lot in spring. You know, he's so massive. I mean, and it's kind of fun coaching him. I mean, just because it's a little different than some of the other guys in terms of his strengths and how you coach somebody like that. But he's a smart kid. He's still raw, but he's getting better fast, and he wants to be really good. So yeah, no, I mean, all of those, that young group of guys right now, their ascent is important, not just for this year, but obviously for the future. And we've been pleased with what we've seen here in August up to this point.
Is Tobias Raymond separating himself at red tackle?
Well, I mean, he and Justin are both playing well. I mean, they're both playing well, and obviously, you know, depending on what happens with Wingfield, both of those guys have some position flex as well. So, I mean, both of those guys are firmly, you know, right there in that top group. I mean, no question. I'd say Tobias has continued where he left off in spring. We thought Justin was good in spring. I think he's been even better in camp. I feel like he's really made a move and is playing at a high level right now.
Has the new 105 roster limit had much of impact on you guys?
You know, it's unique how it's being done. It's the I don't know if you say settlement, NCAA, whoever makes rules these days, they've gone with a more tapered approach where we're not really feeling it this year. We'll feel it a little bit more next year, and then each year it's going to like work its way down to 105. They've got these designated, we call them designated survivors, but they've got these designated athletes that as their eligibility runs out, or if they transfer, then the school, you don't just lose the player, you lose that spot, and so it'll cause everybody to eventually whittle down to 105, which will be an advantage for us. I mean, we're playing teams that carry, and especially in this league, sometimes I don't think people realize carry 30 more players on their roster than we do. I mean, you know, Nebraska easily carries 30 more guys on their roster, and there's Title IX and all types of things with it. It'll be competitively good for us when it gets to that number where the playing field's a little bit more level.
Let's do one more. When you evaluate junior college players, do you look for any specific characteristics, or is there something that kind of makes them different from like a transfer or a high school guy?
I would say, you know, probably just I think the references in junior college are really, really important. Knowing people that are around them, being able to kind of get an idea of, you know, what they're like. A lot of times you don't know these kids. You don't know a lot about them. Obviously, there's some really good junior college football across the country, obviously here in this state as well. And we've had some really good luck throughout the years with it. But I think having those connections and those relationships with coaches and people in that level that you can rely on. And, you know, Wayman's a great example of that. I mean, we probably would not have taken Wayman had we not had a few people at his junior college, some former coaches, or guys that are coaches, guys that we had relationships with or have worked with, that told us what he was like. But I love junior college guys, because the one thing you know about junior college guys, like, they love football. Like, I didn't have many junior college guys that didn't love football, because if you don't love football, you know, you might not be very motivated to go play at a junior college, because it's a challenging way. There's no doubt. But if you want it bad enough, you will, and so typically they have that. So if they have character and you feel like you like what you see on tape, you know, you can get a diamond in the rough, and obviously we feel like I know that we got one now.